All right.
Looks like everything is going. Everything looks to be going good. I don't know about TikTok, but we'll find out here in a second. Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We're finally back. We didn't get a chance to do one on the Thanksgiving episode for obvious reasons, so definitely a lot of post-fight stuff to catch up on, whether we're talking Ben Whitaker or Devin Haney, Brian Norman, or any of the things that we did see over the last couple of weeks. But nice to see you again, Professor T. Looks like the lighting, the camera, everything is working.
Trying, man.
If TikTok is working or not, but if it is, shout out to TikTok. You guys are always awesome for us, at least for the first hour. So
Yes.
for all of you guys who are listening on TikTok, feel free to comment. As you can see from the title, Bud Crawford had a lot of things to say today.
Yeah, he did. Wow.
Yeah. So let me give some context to everyone who is listening to us right now on the Knockout Canvas, where we talk all things combat sports.
Yes.
Boxing is just super hot right now, guys. I mean, this is no slight on the UFC at all. We will talk about the UFC and moving forward into 2026, but damn, man. So there's the WBC convention happening in Thailand. And in the WBC convention, one of the things that they do is they do a whole bunch of rulings, right? For example, they ruled that Conor Benn was going to be the #1 mandatory challenger for the WBC winner of Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. So they would do things like this, right? Hey, here's who's up next here. Here's who's up next there.
Right.
So Terence Crawford, I get this is one of the things that comes out in the news. It first comes out through Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC side that Terence Crawford has been stripped of the WBC title. So they took away his belt, right?
They did.
Give us your belt, right? And the stripping was because he did not pay 0.6%, which normally they do charge like a 3% fee. I know this from my past of having to deal with this BS.
Yes.
Of a 3% fee. I still don't know why you're paying it, but they renegotiated a deal or something like that to a 0.6, still equaling out to about $300,000 in fees to Terence Crawford that he would have had to pay to WBC.
Right.
Supposedly, $225,000 of that is supposed to go to non-profit part of the WBC, which is supposed to be for the fighters' funds, and these are for retired fighters and whatnot.
Right.
And Terence Crawford he didn't pay it, so they stripped him of the title. And Mauricio Suleiman went ahead and he addressed it by simply saying he didn't even get an apology from Terence Crawford. They didn't get the fee, and he's happy about it because that's fine. They're just going to move on, and there is now a mandatory fight that's being set up between Hamza Shiraz,
Hey.
who we recently saw knock out Edgar Berlanga
Yes.
in New York,
Yes.
versus Christian Mbili, who you and I, Professor T, we were at Allegiant Stadium watching that guy put on a hell of a show versus Lester Martinez in a rightful draw because it was hard to pick. I could have given it to either guy. So those two are supposedly now going to fight for the vacant WBC 168-pound championship, the one that Terence Crawford just got stripped from.
Yep.
And the #1 mandatory to the winner of that would be Lester Martinez, who we watched, right? Okay. Having said all of this now, okay, your initial thoughts as to Terence Crawford's basic what was it, a 3-minute FU?
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, so go ahead. Bud Crawford, I know, is one of your most favorite fighters of all time. So tell us how you're feeling after listening to Bud in a car, driving and basically saying F you to WBC and Mauricio Sulaiman.
Dude, it was epic, to be honest. Absolutely epic. And I don't blame him, man. I've never understood that part about the game, so maybe that's something you can explain to me. I think it's pretty universal that none of you guys ever wanted to pay that, and been around a lot of boxers. I don't think any boxer wants to pay anything for winning a belt. So it is interesting, man. I've wondered how they gotten away with it for this long, to be honest. I don't understand how, what is your honest truth? Like, how? It feels like highway robbery.
I mean, look, first off, for the casual audience who's listening to us right now on the Knockout Canvas, I don't know if you guys understood this, but in the world of boxing, there are 4 sanctioning bodies. And these particular sanctioning bodies, which is globally recognized, is the IBF belt, which is based in the United States, the WBO belt, which is based in Puerto Rico, the WBA belt, which I believe is based in South America somewhere, and the WBC belt, which is based in Mexico, right? The original one, or the one that's most recognizable that Ali had in the very beginning was the WBA, and then the WBC obviously came in. Muhammad Ali also had that belt. And then it wasn't until, I believe, 1980, I want to say 84 is when the IBF came. And then the WBO came shortly after that, I believe in 1988. Now, why they charge fighters the fees, I am not an expert or at liberty to explain to you the inner workings of exactly why you would be charging Professor T money to receive a trophy. Although, if let's say we are following this as a jiu-jitsu tournament, okay?
Right.
In a jiu-jitsu tournament, you don't just walk into the tournament for free.
No.
You pay a registration fee, right? Whatever that fee is, and then you compete. And then within that competition, you win whatever awards you are, right?
Right.
In boxing, I think where it throws a lot of people off is, let's say, Professor T, you were going to make $1 million in boxing, right? For a title fight. For some reason, it's a 3% fee, man. 3% of your million, to take care of this. And again, look, this is not. Don't get it twisted. Coach Angelo Reyes is not like shitting on the sanctioning bodies or none of that. I promise you guys. All I'm trying to say is, if somebody could please explain as to where exactly this money goes, and what it is supposed to do. So, for example, there's supposed to be a fighters fund that the WBC has started, and I've seen them do like WBC Cares and all of that, right? But in a matter of speaking, if there are, I believe, 28 world champions that the WBC currently has, that's the total amount of world champions that have the belts. And all these fighters have paid that fee. 28 times whatever the percentage is of whatever those persons are a lot of money. So I still would like to actually know, infrastructure-wise, where all this money goes. So one of the things that Terence Crawford, as you heard him say, while he was doing his soliloquy of anger towards the WBC, he was saying, so there's this convention happening in Thailand, in where the WBC, I guess, pays for all of these fighters to go there in some of the best hotels that they could stay at and whatnot. But how is it really a gift from the WBC if it's your money, right? And so that's where, again, I don't know enough to be able to talk on behalf of Mauricio Sulaiman or the WBC. What I will say, though, is Terence Crawford's a grown-ass man. Okay, he can make whatever choice he wants. Okay, and if a man chooses not to pay whatever said fee is for whatever belt that is, and the consequence he's willing to live with, which in this case, the consequence really is they stripped him of the belt.
Right.
I think the more important question asked TikTok and everybody out there who's actually paying attention to this stuff is, why would it matter to you if you're the casual fan?
Right.
Like you just saw him beat the brakes out of Canelo. So whether it was for the belt or not the belt, or it was for the belt, but now they're taking away the belt.
Right.
You still saw him beat the brakes out of Canelo. I don't know, man. I mean, again, I don't know. But you tell me, from your viewpoint, how do you see it? Like, do you care? Do you not care?
I don't care. I don't care at all. I don't think he cares. I don't think it matters. That's why I'm saying I'm a little shocked that it's been going along for this long. I don't know anyone that's willing to pay that type of money for, like you said, an honest trophy, and it's not even the real belt. Because that's the one thing we're leaving out. It's one belt that matters, right?
Yeah. Well, the Ring Magazine belt is the one that everybody wants.
It is the one that matters. You know, hey, that's like he stated. I'm using his words. It's free.
Right. Yeah. Well, first of all, again, the Ring Magazine belt is based upon it's kind of like how in college football, sometimes we'll get mad at them because they're like, how are you going to have this college team ranked higher than this college team? But it's supposed to be the Associated Press. Correct. So technically speaking, it's supposed to be these non-biased media members all writing articles and voting in or whatever. I don't care. Okay.
Right.
At the end of the day, where it really only matters is when you get to the highest level, right? If you rank an undefeated Alabama lower than a defeated Michigan, that's when people get mad. When they go, how's that team ranked higher than this other team and whatnot, right? Which is one of the confusing things about college football, which is why they created a college football playoff that's now going into their third year, right? So that no matter whatever bowl game you're going to, whatever bowl game you won the Cotton Bowl, you won the Sugar Bowl, you won the Fiesta Bowl, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you got to all meet each other at the very end. And then there's going to be one winner, and then that's who we're going to all say. We don't have to wait for voting, Professor T. We don't have to wait for the Associated Press to tell us who the national champion is. We're going to know because they played that team and they beat that team, so that must be the national champion, right? Now, rankings-wise, whether we agree with the college football rankings or not, it's still there was a championship that was played, right? The problem with boxing is, number one, it is very much like college football rankings in where you got the WBA, the Sugar Bowl, and the WBC, the Orange Bowl, and the IBF, the Fiesta Bowl, you know what I mean? And the WBO, the Rose Bowl. Okay, cool. I would like to see all these bowl champions fight each other so that we can have one unified champion, like Terence Crawford had done 3 times in his career, right? And that person gets the Ring Magazine Championship, which would be equivalent to what the Associated Press would call the national champions of college football, correct? So, Ring Magazine is a bunch of writers who got sworn in or figured it out. These are the ones that vote, right? When somebody then gets the Ring Magazine title, the Ring, which has been around for over 100 years, what Turki Al-Sheikh does is he creates this gold as you can get it belt. That is the total value net worth of 190,000 American dollars. He gives it to you and he says, congratulations, Bud Crawford. Here's your belt. You beat the hell out of Canelo. Here's your belt that you deserve. No, you don't have to pay us anything.
Right.
In fact, just take this belt because you are the best fighter of that division. All right. And that's how Ring Magazine works, which is how everyone recognizes who the champion essentially is. Right. So I say all this to say, Professor D, this is remember when we were having this conversation about Zuffa boxing and Dana White, and I was saying look, man, I get why you might want to get mad at the Muhammad Ali Act extension if you have an argument for it. But this is one of the argument against the reason why the boxing system doesn't really work. Right. This is what Dana White is trying to say. Why would you? I don't ask any of my UFC fighters to pay a sanctioning fee to get the UFC. All I need you to do is when I call you and you pick up a phone and I say, hey, you're fighting so-and-so on this date, I just like a yes or no. We already did your contract. You're already getting paid what you're getting paid. And when you fight for the championship, there's not like an extra fee or any of that, right? It all goes to the pot and everybody, there's one champion. There's no confusion to it. It makes it easy. So that's what Dana White has been saying he's planning to do with boxing. It's going to take him about 5 years, he says, but he's going to completely break down boxing, tear it down, to build it back up again so that everyone can have an idea of how to follow it correctly, especially in the biggest market, which is the United States of America, right? That's what Dana White's long-term plans are, okay? Right. So, having said this, what Mauricio Sulaiman just did in how he responded to Terence Crawford or how he wanted to, it makes you, I agree with what you're saying. You're the one telling me, like, it makes you look bad. I don't know how you come back from it, right? You tell me, Professor T, like, how are you feeling when Mauricio was saying all that stuff?
I felt like he was an entitled person, just like Bud explained it. I mean, these guys are literally eating off the backs of the fighters. I'm sorry. You got to get this work. You got to get this work. I mean, those guys are the ones out there risking it all. I mean, you're not even a promoter putting the money out there. I mean, at most, what you're doing is paying the cost of the belt. And we all know that's a huge markup on top of it. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a huge money grab. It's complete greediness. And I mean, the amount you're taking from these guys that are out there literally risking their lives every second of every round, it's ludicrous. It should be banned. It should be illegal. I mean, in fact, they should be paying the fighters. Honestly, you should be paying the fighters to represent your, you know what I mean? That's the way it should go. And now, obviously, the guys that do more work get paid more money. That's how I see it.
Right. And again, like we're not trying to tear down. Like, believe me, Chad, if you want to chime in. Okay, so from what we're understanding, this is a basic understanding. What these sanctioning bodies are supposed to do is somehow bring integrity to the sport, in where a single promoter, this is the Muhammad Ali Act again, a single promoter cannot also be the person that gives you the belt, right? And you know, because then it becomes this weird monopoly. Promoter can't be in cahoots with the manager, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I guess at the very least in a structural ruling, what a sanctioning body is supposed to do is uphold the integrity of the sport of boxing, in where there isn't this weird cheating going on, right? And they're supposed to go ahead and whoever's working for them in whatever organization they're in, they're supposed to like have a proper ranking system where it gives a chance for fighters to move up. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, whoever is paying the ACC, I'm sure there are fees, or to the SEC or whatever. I'm talking about college football now, guys, right? The Big Ten, the Mountain West. Shout out to UNLV, who's playing for the Mountain West Championship. Hey. Yep. We did it again, baby, against Boise State. Hopefully this time we can actually beat them. So hopefully we can win this time around. But anyway, supposedly, Professor T, that's what they're supposed to do. Bring some kind of integrity, structure, or system into making everyone understand. Now, problem number one as to why Dana White was able to get his foot in the door. How are you guys going to allow Ryan Garcia to fight for the world title when he just lost his last fight? I get it. I'm just throwing it out there, man. And to me, it didn't make sense, right? If someone can make that one make sense, I don't know. Because what everybody always says is the same thing, Professor T. The reason why X person is fighting X person has to do with the money. Correct. Has to do with the money. Has to do with the money, right? That's what everybody always says. Now, if integrity-wise, they were able to go, well, technically speaking, Pacquiao just fought Barrios. That was a draw. So we're either looking for a rematch or we're going to go with the number one contender, which happens to be so-and-so. Devin Haney, let's say, right? I don't know, right? Okay, but how does that work? It's confusing. Right. And as a casual, for casual mainstream sports fans, they're too busy, man, already confused with college football or the NFL or whatever.
It's only going to get worse, man. We're just scratching the surface at this point.
Right. So again, if someone can make it make sense as to why a fighter has to pay X percentage of his salary, and I'm sure there are people out there who will listen to this, Professor D, who are listening right now, who could go, I can explain it. Okay, great. Okay, that's awesome. Great. We would love that. But Terence Crawford is a grown-ass 38-year-old man who chose to have the consequence of being stripped of a belt that he wasn't even in the division of. He was going for greatness. Like he was in this division. He moved up 3 weight classes to go to that division to beat the best guy in that division. It happened. We watched it for free on Netflix, right? And to us, we don't really care anymore whether he has the belt or not because we saw him beat the guy. Like, what do we care, right? It's it would be like the weirdest thing would be if the Super Bowl champion, right, wins this year.
Right.
Okay? When we watched it, Professor T, we saw with our own eyes. This team won the Super Bowl. And then Roger Goodell, right, goes, well, you didn't pay your fees. So, we got to take away the trophy. Right? You didn't have the trophy in your facility. Right? Why would that team care at that point? Because we already watched it on TV. We already saw them do what they were supposed to do. We, as the paying fan base, already recognize that team as the actual champion.
Correct.
So, again, man, somebody make this whole thing make sense because you tell me, Professor T, like to me, it feels like Dana White's going to win.
Right. I mean, that is. At this point, that's the only one that's going to win. None of it makes sense. Just be real.
Yeah, because now think about this. You're Dana White. You're signing fighters for Zuffa Boxing. You're about to make your announcement for January on this league style, right? That's the Muhammad Ali Act extension, in where he kept saying you could sign that and we could do it that way,
right?
Or you could sign this extension, allowing or amendment, sign this extra amendment,
right?
Allowing me to sign you into Zuffa Boxing so that I can have you fight on a normal, consistent basis. This is what your pay structure will be.
Right.
And if you make it up to this level, you're going to get to win a Zuffa Boxing belt, which doesn't cost you any money.
Right.
It's just the only thing you need to do to be a part of our Zuffa Boxing ranking system is to sign this contract that clearly states you're doing the Muhammad Ali amendment or whatever they're doing, so that you're a part of Zuffa Boxing. And here's the best part. When you're the Zuffa Boxing champion, you will go to Turkey Al-Sheikh in Riyadh, in where you will fight for the Ring Magazine belt also.
Right.
So now, if your son wants to be a fighter, Professor T, and he has 2 paths, he could either go do it, the regular old way, and eventually, if he wants to go for a WBC title, if they allow him to have worked up the ranks and he doesn't get bumped off by someone like Ryan Garcia, right?
Yep.
He fights for the title, he wins the title, and then they go to you and say, hey, your son got to pay 3%. Or you can sign with Dana White. all you got to do is train your ass off.
100%.
Win the Zuffa Boxing title, And it'll still give you a chance to win the national championship, which is the Ring Magazine belt.
100%.
Okay, future-wise, if your son's coming from the Olympics, who would you advise him to sign with at this point? Which direction would you want him to go?
I mean, it's clearly, obviously, the Zuffa. It's the route where you're going to make the most money, most recognition, and the least amount of necessary nonsense to deal with. Shout out to my dog Ray out there in the building. Governing bodies be bullishing. Absolutely. Appreciate you for coming through, my dude. Hope you enjoy the show. My boy D Stairs is in the building. These guys I play ball with at Montana State University. Hey, we looking to be in Tennessee. Just so happens one of our guys is out in Nashville, to be exact.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
so when we get to the Natty this year, probably against North Dakota State yet again. Yeah, we will absolutely be doing that. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all coming through. Man, we got Professional E in the building. We got people coming up on Instagram, man. Dana White wants to take advantage of boxers like they do the UFC fighters. I'm not going to disagree with that.
No, hold on though. Okay,
Right.
it's a fair discussion.
It is a fair discussion.
Okay, because if you understand the structure of boxing, you guys do realize that there are still boxers out there right now, maybe not living in the U.S., maybe living in the U.S., who are probably getting, I don't know, $100 for the entire 4-round fight that they fought. Right? Like some ridiculous pay. This is ridiculous because there's no rules to it.
No.
There's no minimum rule. The Muhammad Ali amendment, and again, I'm not trying to tell you guys for or against. I'm just trying to give you information.
Right.
Supposedly, the way it works, if you sign into Zuffa Boxing, is there is a minimum structure pay of you're at least going to get this much when you fight 4-rounders. You're at least going to get this much if you fight 6-rounders. You're going to at least get this much if you fight 8-rounders. You get at least this much if you fight 10-rounders. And then you get X amount if you're fighting for the Zuffa Boxing belt. Okay? Explain to me how that's taking advantage, per se, of a UFC fighter. Because here's my point, right? Here's a guy who signs to the UFC. How much money was that guy making prior to him signing into the UFC? I just want to know, like, was this dude like a Devin Haney who was making his own money? Or did he actually need the UFC to tell him, okay, cool, now that you're signed with the UFC, 4 times, or hopefully 4 times this year, we're going to have you fight. Each one of your fights, if you just show up to it, you're going to make this much money. If you show up to it and you win, you're going to make this much money. If you show up to it and win and perform that night, you're going to get this much money. And as long as you're not injured, we're going to call you again sometime within the next 12 months to fight again. And the best part is, since you're in a 4-fight deal, we might call you 4 times this year. And then if you like that deal, here's what we'll do. We'll extend it so long as you want to extend it. If you don't, that's fine with us. Good to meet you. I hope you enjoyed your time here. It was fun while it lasted. Like, someone please explain to me how that was taking advantage of any of these fighters that are grown people who choose to be a part of it, right? That would be like saying, like, if someone wants to be a nurse, right? Should nurses be paid more money? Yes. Okay? But if that person chooses to want to be a nurse because they educated themselves to want to be said nurse, then their only thing that they're trying to do is go to the hospital or go to the venue that's going to pay them the most. Go to the avenue that's going to pay them the most as a nurse, right? Now, as a broad statement, can we say, I don't like how they're taking advantage of nurses, Professor T, because nurses should get paid more? You're absolutely right. So when you say a statement like, I don't like how the UFC just got $7.7 billion, how much of that money is going into the fighters? That's fine. That's fine for you to say that. But to say that they're getting taken advantage of, man, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a grown ass person. You don't have to fight. No one's asking you to fight. Like I didn't do it. And honestly, I don't even know how much money you're really making.
Right.
And if the money that Dana White is giving you is more money than anyone else is giving you, how is that taking advantage of you exactly? That's what I chat, respond back if you want to. That's my question.
Well, the reason being is because, I'll give professionally his props. He gets it. He knows exactly where it's going. You just saw the message I threw up there. Dana White is going to have these boxers in 360 days. Guaranteed. I don't disagree with that. And whose fault is it for taking that deal? Because it's no different than the rappers, entertainment industry, right? When it comes to, giving out those advances and so forth. And you're right, Coach. You're a big boy now. You're a big girl now. Nobody 18. Like that's what it is. So,
but look, listen. All right, there are people like right now tonight. Later on tonight, there's a show called The Hangout Spot. I might show up to it later. Nice. But they're doing an interview with 2 female boxers, right, who are in the circuit of female boxing. Do you know what they do as a regular living, Professor T? I'll tell you what it is. It's not professional boxing. They're both, one is a sheriff, one is a police officer.
Right.
So boxing is their dream. Wow. It's not their career, right? Their career... that pays the bills is being a sheriff. So they're spending money in order for them to be, and that's what the boxing world looks like.
Right.
If those same 2 women were to sign to Zuffa Boxing, what their lives would look like now is here's how much money you're going to make within said 12-month period.
Right.
You could choose however you want to live your life. If you want to still do part-time job, that's on you.
Right.
But just so that you know, you can fly to Vegas, use our training facility. You can fly to Vegas, and our nutritional program will feed you. Yeah. Right? Win or lose, you're going to still make money. But if you win, you're going to make more money. Right? Right? Again, we're not telling you have to quit everything you're doing to do this. But if you choose to do that, there is a reward structure for this. Right?
Yeah.
How again, try to someone like right now we're about to have UFC 323, which we're going to talk about. Okay? Merab Dvalishvili, I can't pronounce the last name.
Good try.
Okay, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Okay. I remember when Merab was just trying to be seen by Dana White. It was on YouTube. He wasn't even the A fighter. Dana White brought in someone else. Merab beat the brakes out of that guy. And then he got signed into the UFC. And you know what Merab did, Professor T? He just grinded. He worked his ass off. He just kept doing what he needed to do. And then when he got his shot for the title, he beat Sugar Sean O'Malley.
He did. He did his thing, bro. He did his thing.
All right. This man, to this day, just to explain this whole, you're taking advantage of a fighter. Okay. So, Merab was a grown-ass man. Won that last year in September here in Las Vegas at the Spear, right? Remember that, Professor D? They did the whole UFC at the Spear here, right? Where they do Wizard of Oz and all that illusional shit. So this year in 2025, Merab got the fight in January. Right. Then he got the fight in the summer. Then he got the fight in October. And now he gets the fight again this weekend. How many times is that, Professor T? That's 4.
Yeah.
Okay? 4 fights? I'm pretty sure Merab probably doesn't have another job. No. You know what his job is? Being the world champion of whooping people's asses. That's his job. That's his full-time job.
Right.
How did he get to that?
Right.
He signed with the UFC, who gave him a structure on how to get to that point, and he's a grown-ass man.
Right.
He could quit. He could quit like Ngannou did. Ngannou quit. Ngannou was the champion, and then he said, "I'm quitting. I'm not gonna." He said, "Peace." Okay, cool.
He did.
Like, I mean, I'm not mad. Like, hey, man, you do you. You saw an opportunity in where you're going to make more money fighting Tyson Fury to, and then getting knocked the hell out by Anthony Joshua, right? Cool, man. Like I don't hate the move, but when you say, Professor T, oh man, they're taking advantage of Ngannou.
Right.
Are they?
No, I know.
I mean, like,
I know. Hey, well, I mean, we got Professional E, man. You coming with that heat tonight, Professional E. I love it, man. Did Don King ever take advantage of fighters?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Because Don King, that's a perfect example as to why Dana White is saying what he's saying about doing Zuffa boxing.
Right.
Because of people like Don King, who was supposed to pay you a certain amount, then did not pay you that amount. No. That, sir, is taking advantage of him. Okay? But if Dana White says, here's the money you're going to get for the showing up. You weigh in, you show up to the fight. Here's the money you're going to get if you win. Right. Unless a fighter comes out and says, that's the deal that I signed and they didn't pay me the money that I signed, that, sir, would be them getting taken advantage of. Okay? So my point, Professional E, and anyone else who's listening is, don't fucking sign it then. then no one asked you to do. Go somewhere else.
Don't do it.
Now, here you go, Professional E. You know what happens in boxing? In its Wild Wild West structure? You do get the bullshit. Like, Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly Romero. But because boxing doesn't have a system like this, he gets to go to the next best offer. So instead of whoever, the professional Premier Boxing League or Premier Boxing Promotions, PBC. Yeah. Instead of them going, hey, the right thing to do for Mario Barrios is for us to offer money to the number one contender, right? Now, here's taking advantage. You know how we can make the most money? We can make the most money if we let Ryan Garcia fight Mario Barrios in a pay-per-view. That's taking advantage of the fans, taking advantage of the fighters that deserved a title shot before Ryan Garcia, right? Now that's wrong. That's not good because you're not setting a clear boundary, man. You're not setting a straight rule. So again, I don't want to get too long-winded with it, Professor T, but if you want to have a real discussion, we can have a mature discussion, but don't attack someone who is offering a job to people, and those same people who could be police officers, could be anything else, chose to want to be an MMA fighter. And because in MMA, the most money is joining a league called the UFC, it ain't no different than the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball.
You have great points, man. I can't even lie to you. You have great points.
But happy to have the discussion as always, Professor T. As you know, I like it when people come with the heat. I just need them to factually base it on something. Because yes, Don King was a crook. Yes, absolutely. Because Don King would promise you, hey, Professor T, I'm going to pay you this much, and then hold it over your head and say, well, you know what? I'm going to give you like 3 Rolls Royces for now, but I'm going to need you to pay for that Tiger too. Okay? Right? And by the way, last thing on this, Professional E, Professor T, to everybody else who's like, well, Dana White got sued. I know. The whole organization got sued by those fighters, and what's happening? They're paying them out. Anderson Silva got X millions of dollars for that previous whatever suit. Okay. I don't remember Don King paying out people. If anything, he paid them out less. Right? So it's not a fair argument, man. Dana White is not Don King like screwing people. Dana White is the president of an organization that you can choose to or not choose to be a part of.
No, and I'll be fair and I'll admit that. Although, hey, look. Professional E, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on your side a lot. I mean, I'm sure Coach Angelo is on your side in terms of the perspective of the fighter. I don't think we're ever going to not take the side of the fighter.
Of course not. Yeah, of course.
But at the same breath, right? People get in this business to make money. I don't know what else to tell you. I It's a dirty game. It's a grimy deal. It's not easy to be around. I don't think people really comprehend.
Oh, yeah. You saw it. Yeah, you saw it with your own eyes, Professor T.
I don't know. I'll put it to you this way. That would be a show. And I think it would be an outstanding show.
A reality show.
A reality show, a day in the life, man, where somebody is fortunate enough to literally watch a boxer train for one of their most coveted fights of their entire career,
and how a bullshit manager can fucking use their head, and how the family. I mean, like again, and this is. And by the way, I'll this will be the last thing I'll say on this too. Professional E. Do I agree that based on how the 7.7 billion just went into the UFC structure so that they can go show it in Paramount, so that people like us, the fans, don't have to pay $80 a fight anymore. Okay, right? So if the question is, would I like to see the fighters get paid more money because of this big balloon structure that happened? Yes, I would. But then now I would be criticizing Dana without even knowing how much these fighters are going to get paid in 2026. How do we know they're not getting paid more? Right? They're grown-ass people. They seem pretty happy to me. So they must be getting paid more money than before. Okay, now here's the second thing. Here's the second part of this Professional E. If it was that bad for all these fighters that you say is getting taken advantage of, then why don't they do what the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball did and go unionize and go have a strike, bro? Go have a strike.
It would be wise. Right? It would be smart.
Yeah, but maybe the reason why they're not doing the strike is because of all the other organizations that can offer money for the very thing that they want to do, which is fight. The UFC is the one that's giving them the most money, bro.
Right.
That's the same as in the NFL. If I'm Saquon Barkley, as much as I want to stay with the New York Giants, they're going to asshole me on a deal. I'm going to go to the Eagles. They're paying me more money.
Straight up go to the Eagles.
So, like I said, man,
I did not know this. Shout out to Professional E. Daniel Cormier got $300K for the first Jones fight.
Hey, I don't know that. I have to ask him straight up.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, again, Professional E. I can only speak from my own what I know and what Professional T know, what Professor T knows, and I can tell you right now that I bet you Daniel Cormier also got certain checks that came his way where he didn't have to fight at all. All he had to be was Daniel Cormier, and certain checks was just coming his way, right? And you can research that too, bro. You can. What's publicly being shown is also what's publicly being taxed. Let's say,
Right.
versus what I don't know. Like, did Daniel Cormier pay for a certain car, or did the company pay for that car? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. We'd have to speak. All I'm saying is, as a fan watching it, it's not my job to know how much money you're making. Right. It's my job to criticize whether I liked watching the fight or not. It's my job to then say that was enjoyable or not enjoyable. Right? That's it. You're a grown ass man. If you wanted to fight John Jones for $300K, that's on you. How's that on me? I don't care.
Not for that kind of money. It's easy for me to say that, though. It's not my way of a living.
Yeah. But anyway, so moving on with that, Professor T. Yes, Terence Crawford, you're absolutely right for doing what you did. You're a grown-ass man. You can do what you want. You can take every single belt like Riddick Bowe did and throw it in a trash can. Remember that, Professor T? Remember how Riddick Bowe literally in front of national American free television. Riddick Bowe was the WBC world champion. And everybody knows, right? Everybody knows. Shout out to Riddick Bowe, man. We love you for what you did in the ring.
That's a name right there. That's a name.
Shout out to Riddick Bowe, Professor T. But We know you were trying to avoid Lennox Lewis. We know that you were ducking that smoke.
100%.
So it was a lot easier for you to go on TV and put on a show and to take the WBC belt that you just won, and you decided to take a trash can and then dump it into trash. Maybe because you got a bad management deal. I don't know. I know that in this era of fighting right now, people like Crawford, who was 3 weight classes below Canelo, gets offered X money. Hey, you want to move up?
Right. You got to take that bread.
Right.
You got to take it. Hey, Professional E, you are right. I do remember this part. Jesse Ventura tried to unionize, right? The World Wrestling Federation. And he got fired. No, I remember that vividly.
Right.
Jesse Ventura, he's an interesting character.
Former mayor of Minnesota, I believe.
He is an interesting dude, man. I'd love to have the conversation.
Maybe we will. But you know, again, Terence Crawford, shout out to you, right, Professor T? Shout out to you for being a grown-ass man. We know you're the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Yes. You don't want to pay that fee?
Don't pay it.
Don't pay it.
Don't pay it.
We already know you the champ, man. You don't got to pay none of these fees if you don't want to. And maybe, by the way, by Bud Crawford doing it, Professor T, maybe these sanctioning bodies will pump the brakes on taking advantage of these fighters, right? Maybe they'll learn their lesson. Because if Bud can do it, why couldn't Shakur and Tio do it?
It's money in their pocket. Why do they care? What are you going to, you going to go give somebody else the belt to then who they going to fight? Because eventually you're going to have me fight them again, and then when I beat them and you don't get paid again, I mean, you're just causing yourself pain and heartache down the road.
Yep. And again, that we'll talk about as we get closer to it. But January 31st, they made the announcement this week that Teofimo Lopez, who's the WBO 140-pound champion, considered to be one of the best champions out there right now, in America especially too, right? New York and the whole bit, is fighting who you and I both love as maybe the next Pernell Whitaker of this generation, Shakur Stevenson, who's the current WBC 135-pound champion, moving up to 140, his 4th weight class, right, to win a world title. And that fight's going to happen in Madison Square Garden, New York City, January 31st, right? So that's a classic example of they're both fighting, I believe, also for the Ring Magazine belt. So technically speaking, Shakur and Tio are fighting for also the WBO, and I think it is the Ring Magazine belt also, right?
Right.
If you're whoever, Tio or Shakur, and you won, and the WBO says to you, and now you got to pay this fee for winning, but Ring Magazine hands you a $190,000 belt, says, here you go, champ. You're now the Ring Magazine champion and considered number 1 in the world at 140 pounds. Would it be wrong for you to say, I'm cool, WBO? You know what I mean? Right? I mean, what am I missing, Professor T? Like, I'm just saying, if the Ring Magazine is the one that's recognized, right, and it's also the one that's handing you something worth money,
right,
but not taking any money from you at all,
right,
why would we be mad at you?
Where's the Shakur fight? Because I know that's your favorite fighter. Where's the fight? I see Professional E. Shout out to Professional E, man. He said he's going to that fight 100%.
Oh, hell yeah. It's Madison Square Garden, New York City, January 31st.
Why? That gives me a reason to go home. When is this fight?
January 31st.
Ooh,
January 31st.
I ain't going home. Sorry, Professional E. I'm about to get you on the flip side, brother. It's going to be snowing and everything. I'll see you on the summertime.
Yeah, but again, like the great fight, and we'll talk about it some more as we get closer. There's more fish to fry, as they say in the next half hour here. So this is a combat sports show, the Knockout Canvas, the last pay-per-view forever, maybe possibly forever, for the UFC is this Saturday. UFC 323. UFC 323 here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena might actually be the last time we ever pay for a pay-per-view in the UFC. Thank you to Paramount Plus and CBS for coughing up $7.7 billion. So that regular folks like me and Professor T and everybody else don't ever have to pay for no UFC event. Appreciate you guys. Just have a Paramount Plus, which, by the way, most of you probably have Paramount Plus anyway, because you're watching Landman or Yellowstone or whatever the hell show you watching anyways, right? Like, you're watching those movies anyways, like Top Gun and Gladiator and all that. So you probably have Paramount Plus anyhow. If you don't, I think there's a Black Friday deal where you're only going to pay $2.99 for the whole year. I say that to say, Professor T, this is the reason why the UFC continues to be the bigger combat sport in the USA in terms of mainstream media public. Okay, all right. How are you gonna how do you compete against free, man? How do you compete against free? Like, I want to know how it's done. Yeah?
You absolutely don't. You absolutely don't. We had a bunch of people pour in, man. You know I like to give love, show love. We got Troy Williams in the building, man. We got Michael Collins, 552 in the building. We got Leon Morris. We got Antonio, however you spell it, right? We got Angel in the building. We got Ayo in the building. We got Theo Rocha. I've been here a few times, buddy. Appreciate you coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. And last but not least, man, we got Kenny Benny. That is all TikTok. So,
that's awesome. We absolutely love TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. You guys are awesome. Shout out to all of them too. Instagram's giving us some love. Everybody's giving us
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah. So, but so anyway, so Professor T, check this out. Yeah. We watched the Thanksgiving game, right? Kansas City versus the Dallas Cowboys was 57 million people watching it live, which broke the record, right? 57 million. Okay. You know, in that same game, I believe they also had the Dana White commercial talking about UFC 324. They did the whole thing, right? Wow. So again, If you're sitting at home and you weren't even paying attention to combat sports and you're watching Thanksgiving football and Dana White appears and he tells you, by the way, no more pay-per-view on January 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada, UFC 324 with this person that you recognize and that person that you recognize and this person that you recognize. How's boxing competing against this, man? When I still have to pay, I have to pay $60 to watch it. I mean, again, I don't mind paying it. But I'm just saying, but for example, this Saturday we have in San Antonio. I kept telling you and Spence to go to it. Right. In San Antonio is Lamont Roach versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
Yes.
Fighting for the.
I'm so stacked Saturday.
I know. Now check this out. They're fighting for the interim WBC 140-pound title. The undercard of that is now also Oshaki Foster defending his 130-pound WBC belt against Scooter Stephen Fulton, who is going to relinquish his 126-pound WBC belt to move up to 130 and challenge for it. Right? Great. And then the fight right below that is Jesus Ramos fighting for his first time the interim WBA 160-pound title against Shane Mosley Jr., the son of Shane Mosley Sr., right? Okay. Yeah. Now, if you're a boxing head, you're like, oh, man, I'm really excited for that fight. But if you're a boxing head, professional E, you're also the person going, there ain't no way I'm paying no $80 on Amazon Prime to watch this fight.
Not that. No.
Not at all. Right?
Not doing it.
So, again, hurts boxing. Okay? In the meantime, if you don't want to pay for the final pay-per-view of UFC 320, the final one, UFC 323, for the same $80, right? Most MMA fans do, though, but you don't. That's fine. Right. Yeah, I mean, they stack it up. When I tell you how hard it is.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of jiu-jitsu people, man, that's the thing, man. Everybody, piles into a house. Shout out to Professor Kev, all those guys. I'm trying to work it out, man. So we actually have our black belt ceremony December 6th.
Okay.
This Saturday. Shout out to all of my guys and gals getting that black belt, which is crazy. I'm praying I will be there because these are people that I've trained with for well over a decade that are now crossing that bridge, if you will, of becoming a white belt all over again. And it's I got my mom's here. I got to get her back home, and you know what, man? I'll be back in Vegas Sunday.
You're coming back again? Wait, you're going to that weak ass Denver game where we're gonna get our asses kicked, bro?
I'm not going.
Look, Professor T, you got to stop. All right, everybody, Raider Nation. This is my small rant to you if you're listening. Stop buying Raider shit right now. Okay?
My ticket was $19 on Frontier. I'm flying literally during the game when the game's going on. I think I land at like 4 o'clock.
All I'm saying is me and Professor T are big time Raider fans, and we're tired of the bullshittery.
Done.
Okay, and I mean, fix them. We're still going to talk about you. We're still going to support you. We're not going to like jump shit.
I'm moving to Vegas at some point. That's what it is.
But we're not going to pay your crazy ass $200 ticket, fully knowing you're getting an ass kicking this Sunday. I'm not doing it, man.
Question. I don't want to derail this too much, but did you see that new stadium? For the Las Vegas A's.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially an all-time favorite baseball fan. I will be in that building to pay it the second it opens.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, Mark Davis, we're talking to you. Take a lesson. Tickets for that is $20.
Are they really?
Yes. They're trying to make it accessible, man.
It's baseball. I'm not gonna lie. It's baseball. They're not gonna throw that up.
But it's accessible. You're not making. Look, Mark. Take was it David Tepper? Right, Tepper for the Carolina Panthers last year because their team was so ass.
Right,
it was giving $1 tickets to anyone who wants to show up. Okay, the Raiders are worse than them last year. Yeah. So do dollar tickets, bro, and you're gonna see that whole stadium packed. Right. Make it the thank you to all of us Raider fans. Okay, thank you for still being a Raider fan. After 20 years of being ass, basically. Okay? I'm sorry, Professor T. I'm very angry with him, bro. I'm very angry with him.
I spent my money. Everybody here has seen that other side of this wall. Trust me, man. You are correct. I've gone to 3 games this year. And for the people that don't know, for the people in the back, I didn't miss a game the first quarter. I didn't miss a single game from our stadium anyway. And this year, I've only gone to 2 home games. And the truth is, the only reason I went to one of those 2 is because Shador Sanders was playing. Outside of that, I wouldn't have went to that game either.
Yeah. And by the way, like that's one of the reasons why we are mad. We could have gotten Shador in the 5th round too.
Don't get us started. See, now we're turning this thing into a race.
So again, I'm going to keep it combat sports. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, but damn it. Okay, Professor T talking about coming to Vegas, and I'm like, what for?
We gotta hit up my spot that you introduced me to. My treat.
Actually, there's another spot that you'll like even better. We'll go to that. There's another. They're more mom and poppy, but you'll like them even better. So, yeah. But so anyway, I'm sorry, guys. So UFC 323 happening this Saturday. Yes. The headliner is Merab. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the last name, but you are amazing. the 135-pound champion, and in all honesty, Professor T, he might actually be the greatest 135-pound champion we might have ever seen. He's beaten the brakes out of everyone, and he's going for the record. This is the first time any champion in any division has ever defended the belt 4 times in the same 12-month period.
That's good.
That's crazy, man.
That's good.
These are 5-round fights, right? It's not like he's fighting a bunch of nobodies. And this is the problem with boxing again, professionally. I wish this was like what boxing was doing. But Merab started with, he defended against whoever the number 3 was at the time. I'm not remembering the name, but he beat that dude. Then he gave a rematch to O'Malley, who was the champion. He beat submitted him. Then he fought Corey Sandhagen, who was like ranked number 6, right?
Man, you talking about some ballers.
You're ballers, bro. And then now he's fighting the former champion, Petr Yan. And Petr Yan, you know, if you have a bad night against Petr Yan, you're gonna get your ass whooped.
You're done.
Right? So if Merab pulls it off, shout out to Merab, man. You are the man. You were just beating the hell out of everyone, and shout out to you, bro.
I mean, the only other person that comes to mind, believe it or not, you already know, it's John Bones Jones, man. I can't even think of another person that went on a run like that.
Yeah, but John Bones Jones never fought 4 times in the same year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just fought badasses. Back to back.
Yeah, and that's why we're you know, that's UFC 323. That's just the headliner, right? The co-main event, bro, is the guy who's already beaten Demetrius Johnson's record. This guy, Alessandro Pantoja, who is the best 125-pounder in the world, but I could argue that he might actually be pound for pound the best fighter in all of MMA. That dude is smoking people.
Correct.
So again, you have to be like a hardcore, like really love UFC to understand how cool this card is. But you just told me that 2 of the very best pound for pound fighters in the world are on this card.
It's crazy.
Okay, if you're gonna pay for it, like what you and I just did, Professor D, we paid for that card in Riyadh,
right?
Because you had Benavidez in it, pound for pound, Bam Rodriguez in it, pound for pound, Devin Haney on it, pound for pound. You see what I'm saying, right? And you know, it was a bonus to have. It was a bonus to have Abdullah Mason on it. It was a bonus, you know what I'm saying?
We all know that's
but that's what I mean is so again, the UFC continues to give us banger content, right? And now going into 2026, they're going to be giving us banger content for the price of 0. Again, man, let me read to you guys the card that you're going to be expecting if you are choosing to pay $80. Okay, you will be seeing, to open your $80 card, former light heavyweight world champion 205 Jan Blachowicz. Sorry, we know who you are. You fought okay. Versus the guy who's the up and comer, Bogdan Guskov. Again, if you understand UFC, you'll know who these guys are. That's your opener. The next fight card after that, Henry Cejudo, the former triple belt champion.
You know he's bringing the energy.
Yeah, but he's fighting one of the guys I like to watch, the youngster Peyton Talbot from Arizona.
He's an up and coming.
Now that's the second fight of this $80 pay-per-view that, again, you do not have to pay if you want to go to Dave & Buster's or your nearest bar that's showing it. You know, you can do it that way. But if you want to stay at home, it's $80. That's your first 2.
By the way, are we going to have that debacle? Or am I going to already be met too late? No, I get to Sunday. So yeah. But
no, you get there Sunday, it won't matter. Because if you were there Saturday.
Are they going to have the fights? Or?
So the great thing about the UFC is that on every station casino, because the Fertitas own them, UFC has always been free. I ain't never had to pay for no UFC fight because I always go to one of the station casinos where they show it for free. But like I said, you can watch it at Dave & Buster's. There's so many different places that you can watch UFC for free, bro. It's one of the reasons, again, why UFC the brand has continued to grow versus boxing is still struggling in the U.S. in terms of mainstream media, right?
Too much greed, man, and we all know where that greed comes from. It's those managers and promoters.
It's stationing bodies, to be honest.
Yeah, all of that. After I witnessed, man, you'll never ever
Hear me
Right.
not fight for the fighter. Okay.
Right. So check this out, Professor G. Oh, I'm not done with this amazing end of the year card.
Yeah.
The next fight after Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot is former 125-pound flyweight world champion Brandon Moreno.
Hey.
Okay. Fighting against one of the most exciting up-and-coming killers from Japan, Tatsuro Taira. And if you don't know,
That's a fight.
hey man, if you guys don't know who Tatsuro is, you better ask somebody, because I'm picking him to win this one. I actually think he's the real deal. I think that if he could beat Brandon Moreno, man, that's a big jump.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
The co-main event, as I said, is Alejandro Pantoja, who is right now, I could make an argument to say he's the best pound-for-pound UFC fighter, MMA fighter in the world. But he's fighting my guy, 24 years old, Joshua Van, getting a title shot. The knockout puncher, the knockout machine, Vietnam, stand up, Joshua Van. That's my guy. So hopefully, I don't think you could upset him. No. I'm rooting for you though, bro. But Pantoja's a killer, man. There's a reason why he's beaten Demetrius Johnson's record. So he's the man. And then the main event, as we talked about earlier, of UFC 323, Merab Dvalishvili. I'm sorry, Dvalishvili.
Nobody can.
All right, against Petre Yan. The former world champ against the current world champ. This is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you didn't want to pay $80. You just wanted to watch it for free. The preliminary card, which starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, completely for free on ESPN or ESPN Plus, right? Got some great fighters in there. Macy Barber's on there. Grant Dawson's on there. Terence McKinney's on there. Manuel Torres is on there. Nazim's Sadigov is on there. So again, these are, if you don't know nothing, it costs you nothing. Just go check it out. It's free. The main card is amazing. And then the early prelims start at 3 p.m. And this is what I'm saying, Professor T, that there's a structure to how the UFC does things.
Right.
The fan base who gets into it, they get used to it, because it never feels like the first fight is a throwaway fight, or the early prelims are a throwaway fights, right? So in the early prelims that starts at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, it starts off with at featherweight, which is 35 pounds. Yeah, featherweight is 135. Oh, no, 145. 145. I'm sorry. It's Mohammed Naima versus Marion Santos. Good fight if you know who those are. And the next one is a middleweight fight at 185 pounds between Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tricoli. Again, a good fight if you know who those are. Then the next one after that, this again all for free on the early prelims, is the light heavyweight fight at 205 between Iwo Baranowski against Ebo Asian. Again, I don't expect you to know them, but if you want to watch some good bangers. Then the co-main event of the early free prelims is Edson Barboza.
Oh, the Muay Thai specialist.
Okay?
Wow.
Against the Spider, Galen Turner. Wow. Come on, man. That's the co-main of an early prelims.
Bro.
You see what I'm trying to say?
You see some feet flying and shins kicking.
Yeah.
I can tell you that's going to be a burner.
Right. And then the main event is Marvin Vittori at 185 pounds against Bruno Ferreira. But do you see what I'm saying about how in a structured system, you could have all these signed fighters, and you could give the fans 5 great early prelims free fights. Then give them another 4 great preliminary card free fights before you give them 5 amazing legendary names on the $80 main card. Yeah. So if you're an MMA or UFC fan, how are you upset at getting 14 fights?
You can't be.
That are all going to be great. They treat the first fight like it's a main event, all the way to the last fight. Like I said, man, just pay attention to what Zuffa Boxing does, and you guys will be shocked at how
they do a good job.
Yeah, they do a really good job. And they're going to be pulling from WWE fans. They're going to be pulling from the UFC fans. So these very same fan base is going to jump on Zuffa Boxing. And that's why me and Professor T are going to continue to praise Dana White and talk about Zuffa Boxing, because he's doing something. He's not charging nobody 6% or 3% or whatever the hell it is to make a champion. So that's UFC 323. It's going to be very exciting. If you get a chance to watch it somewhere, Professor T, you should definitely do that. That's very fun. And then, the last thing is the San Antonio card we kind of broke down. Boxing-wise, that obviously has a lot of Lamont Roach versus Cruz. Isaac Pitbull Cruz has some implications in it because it's for the interim championship. The actual championship is being fought between Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, which is happening in New York in January. So having said that, we also have the winner of T.O. versus Shakur at 140, right? We still got Gary Antoine Russell out there with the WBA 140. So 140's, starting to become a very hot division. And Lamont Roach is finally starting to get his credit, which is nice to see. Let's go quickly. Predictions then, Professor T, on the boxing card. Who you going with, Isaac Pitbull Cruz or Lamont Roach at 140 pounds?
You know what? This is going to shock people, but I'm going with Lamont Roach.
Okay.
I think Roach has the footwork in boxing ability.
I'm right there with you. Doesn't shock me at all. I'm picking Lamont Roach. I'm actually thinking Lamont Roach might be the first person to maybe even stop Pitbull Cruz. Maybe. That would make him a pretty big star, dude, if he does it.
And hey, a lot of people think he beat Tank. If not, at worst, the draw.
He beat Tank, bro.
I agree. We're not going to get beat a lot.
Yeah. All right. Co-main event is O'Shaquie Foster versus again moving up in weight. Trains with Bozy Ennis and Boots. Steven Scooter Fulton for the 130-pound WBC belt. Who do you got on that one?
I'm going with Mr. Foster.
Oh, O'Shaquie Foster got you. Okay. O'Shaquie's been calling out Shakur. Yeah, O'Shaquie's been calling out Shakur. He says he wants to fight him. He's willing to move up or whatever. I'm actually going to pick Fulton, man. I got to go against you on this one.
This is the way it goes.
Look, anyone who is baller enough to have jean shorts and Timberland boots in a boxing ring.
I agree. That's that East Coast style.
Yeah, that's the East Coast style, man. I'm with you, Scooter. I'm with you. So, and then the interim WBA title fight between Jesus Ramos Jr. against Shane Mosley Jr. 160 pounds. Who you picking?
Bro, I like Shane Mosley. I'm going with Shane Mosley.
Oh my gosh! A shocker! You were just shocking me, man. All right, I can't do it.
That's a
tough one.
It's a
yeah. Yeah, no, I gotta go Jesus Ramos on this one.
He's gonna win. But I want Sugar Shane's son to win something.
Yeah, and you never know, man. Boxing, it's unpredictable, so we never know.
It just takes one. Just takes one, baby.
Yeah, all it takes is one. And it is 160, so you never know what can happen. And he does have the son of a legend. He's got the Shane Mosley blood in his running through his veins. You never know, man. You just never know. On the free, again, we like to give you guys news on the Knockout Canvas. For you guys who want to watch the free portion, because again, believe me, none of us are paying that $80 Amazon Prime. If you guys want to watch the free portion, it will be on YouTube. And the main event of the free portion is Frank Martin. Frank Martin's coming back.
I want to see that. I want to see Frank Martin. I'm a Frank Martin fan, if you will. I think he's got good boxing skills.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he just got knocked the hell out by Tank, but
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I think he
So-
can bounce back.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, now the Tank's gone and done retired or whatever the hell he's doing. Yeah, it'll be nice to see Frank Martin back in there, make himself relevant again in terms of the names. Erzlandi Lara is still fighting on that card.
Hey, I'm a big Lara fan, bro. He is one of the scariest boxers of my lifetime. And
he beat Canelo.
Oh, 100% he beat Canelo. Man, wasn't even a question. That was a straight home job.
Right. So unfortunately for that one, Janabek Alamhullah, who was the WBO and IBF champion, it was supposed to be a lineal unification championships for also the Ring magazine. He got pulled out because he popped for PEDs by VADA. So they're just bringing in like a last minute opponent. So that's why I didn't really want to talk about it too much, because we already know Lara's going to beat the brakes off of Johan Gonzalez. But the free YouTube portion, again, has a lot of good fights in it. It's going to show you Frank Martin versus Rances Barthelemy, Luis Nunez versus Andres Sosa, Isaac Lucero versus Roberto Valenzuela, and Daniel Blancas versus William Townsend. And the opener of the free portion is Jordan Roach, which I think is related to Lamont, against Brian Santiago at 115 pounds. And I'm trying to think if they're showing any of the other ones. I know like Robert Guerrero Jr., the son of Robert Guerrero's on the card, but I don't know if they're going to show his fight, right? Like, so, and again, another one of the problems with boxing, Professor T, there's all these fights that aren't even going to be shown to anybody anywhere, just because I don't know whatever the weird reason for that is, versus I just told you that the UFC shows every single fight, for people to be able to show. So again, it'll all get fixed in 2026, and you guys will start to see the difference. So that's the PBC pay-per-view card happening this weekend. And then, I don't want to ever not talk about our guy, Eddie Hearn, who is doing a fight card for you global boxing fans. It is in Monaco. Matchroom Boxing is doing a card in Monaco where James Bond does his stuff. Let's see. Matchroom is doing, I want to make sure I read you guys. It's here's the event. It is Shabazz Massoud versus Peter Grail, Beatrice Ferreira versus Elif Turhan, Connor Walker versus Pat McCormack, and Johnny Fisher coming back to fight Herbert Matovu. That's called Monte Carlo Showdown 6. It is in the daytime. If you have the Zone, then make sure you get to watch that, because that is not a pay-per-view. It is for free. So yeah, and then let's just end our show, Professor T, with your UFC 323 predictions on the main card. Let us start with Jan Blachowicz. I'm sorry.
Right.
The former light heavyweight champion against Bogdan Guskov. Who you picking on that one?
The very first of the
Jan Blachowicz, former world champion. I, sir, will go against you and say that I think Bogdan Guskov will pull this off and make a name for himself. I think so.
It'll be a tall order to climb. Yeah,
definitely a tall order to climb. Second fight, Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Versus
betting against that wild man, bro.
Really? You're not betting against Cejudo?
Cejudo's gonna find a way to stay relevant. This is his last shot, I think.
135-pound division. Certainly, if he does this, he can work himself back to maybe getting a shot at Marab or something. So we'll see. I am picking Peyton Talbot just because I like his energy and I like his style of fights. So far, you and me are against each other. Here's the next one. Flyweight 125, the former world champion Brandon Moreno fighting the Japanese Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro it is. And again, not to say neither one of us are not saying that Brandon Moreno should be the favorite, because he really should be the favorite. Brandon Moreno is that good. So Brandon, if you listen, We love you, man. You're amazing. It's just I'm getting a feeling that Tatsuro might actually do it. It'd be a tall. I'm hoping that Tatsuro does it, so I'm going to go for Tatsuro. Right. But if Brandon Moreno wins, you more than deserve another shot at the title, man. You're amazing. All right, co-main event, 125 flyweight, Alejandro Pantoja versus my guy, the knockout artist, Joshua Van. Who you picking?
Knockout artist.
Oh, really? He's bet-wise, he's a huge underdog.
I know, and that's why I'm thinking about slide Bill on that.
You think he can do it, huh? I want him to do it.
See what it looks like.
I want him to do it. I want him to shock the world. He shocked everybody on his last fight. No one thought he could win that. Right. I want you to win, Joshua Van. I really do. So I hope you do it. Honestly, man, Pantoja is so damn good. It's like betting against Inoue. You know, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. So I'm picking Pantoja. And then finally for the main event, official picks, Merab Dvalishvili, the current 135 champ, against the former 135 champ, Petr Yan. Who you picking?
I'm going to Mirage. I think he's going to continue that wild run.
I agree, sir. I agree. Merab is where it is at. I can't go against them. So based on our title, I think we pretty much covered everything that we said we would cover. Next week, I don't foresee us not doing the show unless you're okay. Are you going to stay in Vegas for a while?
Yeah, and hey, maybe we'll have a surprise. I'm thinking. What is
Wednesday next week? Wednesday.
We absolutely will have a surprise. The only way that we won't have a surprise is my car. All right, that's a whole nother conversation. But
okay.
I already spilled the beans. I will be in Las Vegas, so you might see
a live from Vegas, man.
Coach.
All right, that could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, because you'll be in the Pacific time zone, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Next week, Wednesday. What else is coming up for you, Professor T? What else are you doing?
Tomorrow, man, as always, the show name needs to change. It's called Dead in the Water, but it's really a team that's dead in the water, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders and not the New England Patriots. So, I got my fearless co-host Spence on that. I don't know who's playing tomorrow. It's a good game though. Tomorrow it's a good game.
It's the Dallas Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions.
Lions, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. You don't want to miss tomorrow. 7:15 sharp.
7:15. That's Central Time, guys. So then that would be 5:15 Pacific Time and 8:15 Eastern Time.
I forget that the game.
Yeah, you gotta say that. Just not everybody lives in Texas, even though y'all
are people that listen to us are all on the West Coast. You're right. So.
Right. All right, and then anything else coming up? I know you're going to be busy over the weekend, and you're coming to Vegas on Sunday. So, we ain't going to no Denver game. All right, that's not happening.
Not doing that.
Not doing that. Bo Nix is about to whoop on. We could have had Bo Nix too, by the way. Could have had Bo Nix also. Could have had a lot of them.
We could have had a lot of stuff.
Armand Membu, who I wanted us to draft, is currently, according to ESPN, the number 5 best rookie of the rookie class. Yep. Ashton Genty didn't even make the top 10, bro. Nope. And I don't want to say it's his fault. It's not your fault, Ashton. It's not your fault.
Hey, if he didn't have the attitude, I'd agree with you. But because of that piss poor attitude, I'm on his behind. I'm just letting everybody
know. You should be. He's the number 6.
Some of my player stance. I'm on you, Janty. I am on you. You know that's my position.
Hey, you know what? It's fair for you to do it since you played that position at the high level. And you know what? He's the number 6 pick, man. When you're the number 6 pick.
6, bro. You can't.
The
fact that was drafted that high, that out of the gate, it didn't matter.
Omarion Hampton was the other one that got drafted high, and look what happened. He got injured.
Well, his whole offensive line got injured.
I know, but
starters.
But again,
this is one of the biggest tackles in the league.
Right.
Tackle. Right there, I forget his name.
Yeah. No, Joe Alt got injured, and then Slater got injured, and no, I get it. The Chargers might not even make the playoffs now because of all of these injuries, so we'll see. But at the end of the day, man, you know, heavy wears the person that wears the crown, because we still love Brock Bowers, and we could have had an O-line, but we could have. Brock Bowers is doing his thing, man. I mean, Brock Bowers is so crazy. Like, believe me, guys. Professor T, he was there when they called Brock Bowers' name in Detroit. He was probably the most upset person ever. I bet his ass is smiling right now with Brock Bowers making them one-handed catches, bro. He's Brock Bowers is like pound for pound the best tight end.
All we got to look forward to.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. He's so good. When you finally have a quarterback that won't throw interceptions, man, you're going to be amazing.
I agree.
So, and in fact, I think he had more stats with Aiden O'Connell as his quarterback, didn't he?
Probably has. And I mean, hey, hopefully we don't have to be punished with Geno for the rest of the season.
I think we will, because you know he's getting cut. So I think Mark Davis is like, I'm gonna make you earn this. You know, you're gonna earn every single one of those 10 sacks you got last week. 10 sacks, y'all. 10 sacks. That's how much we allow. So, anyways. I don't want to turn it into that. You guys will get a chance to watch it tomorrow. For you guys who want to listen to me, I'll probably be on Claymore Rain Boxing on YouTube tomorrow around noon. And then I'll probably be at the Hangout Spot with Johnny. Those are nighttime shows. So check those out if you guys want to listen to boxing content. And check us out at the Knockout Canvas on Wednesday next week.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thanks, Professor T.
Till the next time, we're out. Peace.
I gotta find out some better exit music slash.
Well, consistency is always the first thing.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. We'll get to that stuff later.
Right.
Let me end this. Stop stream.